Starting your day off with a take on Vegas you won't get anywhere else.
Hi, I'm Holly Madison, and I listen to Brian Shapiro.
Hi, this is William Shatner, and I listen to Brian Shapiro.
Hey, this is Larry the Cable Guy, and I listen to Brian Shapiro. Why? Because I'm a good American. So is he. And if you don't listen to him, you need to pack up and leave this country.
This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
Come on, guys!
Well, hi, everybody. I'm Ron Futrell. I have tied up Brian Shapiro and put him in a back closet somewhere. It's not a big, it's a big closet. It's a large. He can breathe, but I'm taking over the show. I'm taking over the Vegas Take. And Brian, I know. Listen, I ain't no Brian Shapiro, and you're going to be very disappointed. You're not able to hear from him and some of his take on some of the politics tonight. He's working. He's on assignment right now. Dennis Silver, by the way, that's the great voice of the golf guru here in town. Dennis Silvers, how are you, Dennis?
I'm good. So happy to be here with you, Ron.
Thank you. It's us taking over for and no, I mean, we're going to let him out of the closet.
Eventually.
No, he'll be here Wednesday. I mean, we're not going to tie him up for too long. He's not a real big dude, so it's a small closet that we can put him into and tie him up and take over the show. But we've got a fun 2 hours. We're going to take your phone calls, talk a lot of sports, a little bit of politics. Susie Draney joins us here now, too, as well. Susie, how are you? Good to see you.
I'm good. How about you?
Life is good. Life is good. So you Allstate Insurance.
I have Draney Agency, so if you need insurance, you should call me.
Okay. No, we'll get numbers out and that sort of stuff and all the information. Dennis, Susie, Dennis.
Nice to meet you, Dennis.
Nice to meet you, Susie.
Susie, I found a grape in the back of my car, by the way, Susie. I wanted to bring that for you. Okay,
it's a raisin.
It's almost a raisin.
Who would do that to you?
It was left in the back of my car.
I know that you are an Uber driver part-time.
Yeah.
Is this one of those names?
Somebody might have left it. You got to make some money where you can. And so, Dennis, the golf guru, your golf whiz, you are the golf guy here in town.
I am the man.
Yes, there's no question about it. You go straight to Dennis Silvers if you need any golf information. You do your own show at various outlets over the years. Where are you at now?
Well, I was at Lotus Broadcasting for 15 years on sports radio and ESPN. I had 2 shows, and then moved over to CBS News for a year until they got CBS Sports Radio on board.
Yeah,
and over there, on the weekends, and do a segment on KSNV Channel 3, our NBC affiliate, and just started a new Facebook Live podcast called The New Vegas Sand Trap on Facebook Live that's doing really well. We do that on Fridays around noon, and it's all good. I tried to sell insurance, Ron, but I couldn't pass.
You're not a Susie Draney.
No, that's for damn sure.
You didn't have the right parts, did you?
I did.
Dennis?
I did not. No, but I understand that you play golf.
I do every once. Well, I mean, I mock the sport, but I try.
That's good. That's all
Ron
that's
and
important.
I've tried to hit the ball a few times on the
How
course.
could you play with a left-hander?
There's so many other problems
hard,
of playing with Ron. The left hand is just the worst.
That's the one thing I do left-handed.
One thing you could overlook.
Oh, my God.
Politically, not that, but I'm left-handed when it comes to life. But no, we were out there. Okay, I'm going to mention real quick. We're going to have a lot of. There are some political stuff I want to talk about. I want to talk about this congresswoman from Massachusetts that wants 16-year-olds to vote.
She wants to lower the age to 16.
Why not 13 or 10 while we're at it? Let's just go ahead and get them out of the room.
I did so many responsible things at 16.
I did too.
Drinking in the desert,
Yes. Why can't I vote?
Susie, looking at you, I find that hard to believe.
That's why I'm an insurance agent. I really believe in responsible choices.
Oh,
I also
my
want to
God. You're telling me she's a goody two-shoes?
No,
my
you can't get more responsible.
I have a lot of shoes. I don't know if they're good or not.
She's also our basketball genius here. We're gonna talk some hoops because there are a lot of college basketball hoops tournaments here in town.
Is this like a big month for that or something?
It's sort of something.
Isn't there some? It's
March
Madness, isn't it?
Is it
March Madness.
Oh, it's Madness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gamblers Anonymous loses a lot of people.
Oh my God.
Also going to talk about this college cheating scandal that just came up today. It is so crazy. If you haven't heard about it yet, it is rich folk bribing people at colleges, coaches, administrators, to allow their stupid children or that couldn't pass the test to go to Harvard, Yale, and Brown, and Columbia, and
Ron, I posted on Facebook when I first heard about it. I just put, Felicity, all I wanted to do was go to trade school. And I've got a ton of responses.
plumbing. I want to learn how to be a plumber. How about that?
It's the most incredible, and I don't know whether these people know it, and especially these two women, but seriously, they are in deep doo-doo. I mean, this is no laughing matter.
No, it's trouble. Susie?
Well, I
trouble.
mean, if they were responsible, they would have just had a wing and donated it to the college, and then you just skip the test, right?
Right, you can do that.
That's what a legit rich person does, right? They just donate a bunch of money, and then your kid's an honoree.
Anytime you have the U.S.
thought about
attorney stand up in front of a mic and talk about you, it's not good. It's not good.
Yeah, Felicity Huffman, star of Desperate Housewives. Back in
William
the day.
Neeson, or what's his name? The guy that's on
Liam
yeah.
Neeson? Is that his wife?
No.
It's the guy that's on Shameless. It's his wife.
Okay.
He's a longtime actor. What's his
William
last name? All of a
something.
sudden,
Anybody got fact checked around here?
Yeah.
Our phone number for the Vegas Take right here, 702-257-KDON, 257-5396.
William Macy.
There you go.
William
See?
Macy.
You
Okay,
get
got
a
it.
gold
And
star.
The guy's a great answer.
Yeah.
Actor.
So we'll go back and forth between college
How
hoops.
come he's not
between-
being named in all of this? How come
He
it's
had
just the
nothing-
woman?
Still time.
There's a parent.
There is
That's
still
good. They're
time.
co-parenting. I'm just saying.
They're speculating, Susie, that she had control of the checkbook. And,
Well,
and he didn't know about it.
It's why they're
That's a likely
Yeah.
story.
Listen. It's why there are JUCOs in California. I went to a junior college in California, okay? Because that's where I could go. That was my level.
I did too.
For free, for nothing. You pay
I
for
did
a
too.
card, and I went there and did broadcasting.
Hey, I'm CCSN all the way.
Are they accredited? Are they accredited?
Clark County.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
No. But then you go. I had no interest in going to Harvard, Yale, Brown. I couldn't have ever been admitted.
No
and
woman would ever go for you there. They're too smart.
You got to know your stuff. Okay,
I went to community city college before I went to UCLA.
we have Gary on the line. Gary, what's up?
Gary.
Hey, Ron,
Howdy.
you have a lot of integrity.
Thank you. I don't know for what. No, you don't know me. No. Okay. Yes, I do. Thank you. Have we? Should we ever let Brian out of the box?
Yeah,
Keep
in a
him tied
day
up.
to
Okay.
let him get focused. What do you call it? Mr. Tomato Head. I like Mr. Tomato Head. I like how he calls people morons and idiots, because that's why I fought and why I'm a veteran, and I'm proud to be a veteran. So he has the right to get on the radio and call people morons and idiots, because you can't do that nowhere else in this country, in this world.
You make a good point. So, Gary, what's your call about? What do you want to chat about? Other than you think I'm brilliant.
I want to talk about President Trump. He could be the greatest guy that we will forget for 500 years if he had the. I can't say that word. I know you're allowed to say it, but all right, I'm going to say it. If he had the balls to get on a jet and go to South Korea and say, "I'm on my way to North Korea, Kim Jong-un. I love you. I want to know what the hell's going on. I'm coming to your country directly. What is going on? Can we work something out here?" Not like he's begging and pleading with him, but like, you're not going to be Rocket Man again, are you? We need to make a deal. I want President Trump, to go to North Korea and meet him on his own country and see what happens.
He's already made more progress than any other president ever over the last 60 years of what's happened in North Korea. Brought back the remains of soldiers, kidnapped people have been returned from North Korea. They stopped doing their testing.
Right.
Now, I don't know if they're going to start back up doing some more stuff again. We don't know. But at least, okay, and here, the left has always talked about, we need to talk. We need to negotiate. We need to sit down. We need to, in their music, in their movies, they're all about negotiating. So finally, Trump does that. And they're apoplectic. Is that a good word?
That's a very good word. That's a very good word.
They've gone nuts over this.
Yeah.
And then now all of a sudden somebody's doing it. Oh, but it's the wrong person doing it.
Yeah, you don't do that with that guy.
Okay. Not a Republican. Not a Republican conservative.
They're doing the negotiations wrong.
Yeah. Obama never got there. Bush never got there. Either one. Papa Jr. or Clinton. Did he ever negotiate with North? No, I don't think so.
No. He negotiated some stuff.
He did negotiate. Like, what do we we do with the blue dress?
Yeah.
The blue dress. Now, come on. What do we do with the blue dress?
Can I have another cigar, please? Yeah, that's just...
We need some more interns. Stat.
Okay.
He's shooting on a rocket off, and President Trump's over with.
Yeah.
He's holding all the cards right now.
He is.
And all he has to do is say to all the generals in the world, I know more than you do, just aim your missiles at China and Russia and stop threatening us.
Maybe no missiles.
South
Maybe
Korea
let's just go with no missiles.
Gary, you're on it.
Sign a peace treaty.
Yeah.
What's wrong with signing a peace treaty and ending the Korean War a little at a time? And we'll take some of the restrictions, some of the stuff,
Yeah.
that they're angry about. We need to negotiate better than this.
Here's the problem, Gary. China is involved in this thing, okay? And China is, Korea's a little brother to China, not even a little brother, half cousin, and China is pulling Korea's strings. And we've got to be careful with China. We're doing the trade agreement right now with them, so things are dicey there. So the China card is the key to all of this thing with North Korea. So that's why I think Trump sort of backed off and said, we got to get China right and the trade agreement, and then we'll revisit the North Korea thing. But because nothing happens good for the world with North Korea without China's approval, and that's got to happen.
That's true. Hey, Gary, do you agree with the sanctions that Trump has been putting on North Korea?
I do. I believe in being tough and the sanctions and everything.
Yeah.
Except China just said, what's going to happen if he walks out of our talks and makes me look like a fool? That's what I heard on the radio. I don't know how true it is because you have so much fake news. They're saying the same thing.
No, he did
Trump
good.
should be aggressive. He should go right over there.
He did good.
He's a New Yorker like me.
He did good. He got up and walked.
Gary, I can barely tell you're from New York with that accent.
Yeah.
Barely tell. Could you either one of you two?
No.
Susie?
No.
I thought Australia.
Dennis?
Oh, no.
Had no idea. I thought you thought Australia.
New York.
Henderson? You thought New York? I thought maybe Henderson. Might be no, but you're thinking New York.
Gary, where are you from?
I'm from Queens, New York, and Long Island.
How did you know?
I knew it.
Gosh.
I knew it. Aren't you glad?
Nuclear weapons up just like that. He's not giving those nuclear weapons up.
Oh my God! Aren't you, Gary? Aren't you glad you're here, not with that whack job De Blasio?
Oh Lord, I left the rat race. It's a rat race. It's too crowded. It's too congested. Taxes too high. You can't get anywhere. It's a rat race. They don't call it a rat race for nothing. It's
you're right.
That's true.
All right, Gary. Hey, thanks for
man.
calling.
Thank you so much, Gary.
Listen to the Vegas Take right now with Dennis Silvers. I'm Ron Futrell. Susie Draney is a special guest, and we've also got Brian Shapiro locked up in a back room somewhere. We are not letting him out tonight if he starts yelling and screaming, we can hear it over the
Give
radio.
us a safe word. Did anybody write that down?
Oh, the safe word. No, he
no
didn't.
way, no how.
We're rookie mistakes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, next time I kidnap somebody, I'll remember the safe word, Susie. Thank you. Wilford is on line 42. We have a lot of lines and a lot of callers.
Ooh.
What's up, Wilford?
Well, it's will free, which stands for free will. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
And that's not my real name. Okay. So,
how about World Be Free? He played in the NBA for a little while. That was World Be Free.
See, the reason I'm calling is I've never really seen sports radio and talk radio. I've never seen this combination before, so for me,
I
it's a new
guess.
experience. And,
yes. It's called We're Just Going All Over the Place.
Yeah, we're just trying to.
That's exactly what I thought. I thought, I like chaos. What's the problem here?
Yeah.
So, if I might, just 2 points on Russia.
Okay.
Here's my perspective. Russia has twice the land mass. I think they have 152 nationalities or languages. And those people lost millions of people during the war. They helped in many ways. What if we could become friends and if those people are naysayers and negative, vortex thinkers? We built China out of nothing. The most communistic country in the world, we built them. And then one more thing to consider. There was a movie many years back, decades, not a movie, a book called On the Brink. Does anybody remember that book?
On the Brink, yeah. Yeah.
On the Brink, they proposed.
We have one reader in the group.
Yeah.
I ain't reading nothing.
Well, that's right. Ain't nothing I read, but I got.
Was it on Twitter?
So, if it ain't got a cartoon, I don't read it. So here's the point. I believe in that book, they theorized that Russia came to our aid to stop China because of its overwhelming force in numbers. They could move 1 million people and get them all shot at one time, and it was ineffectual. So I would suggest that I love what President Trump is doing. I've declared him to be some kind of archangel, but what a magnificent male and a man, and it's so wondrous to see our
Good for you.
Lost society.
Good for you. Do you know how many? I've been to Russia a couple of times. It's absolutely a fascinating country. Do you know how many time zones there are in Russia? To show you how big it is?
My uncle was one of the first IBM people to go there, but no, I do not, to answer your question.
There are 22.
Only 22.
See, and here's the thing. If we got
That's half the world. That's half the world.
You realize our capacity to influence the world between Russia and America?
Oh, it's unreal.
Huge. Just enormous. So look, thank you for letting me
Thanks for the call.
Well, if we didn't have the collusion between Trump and Russia, we could probably do something good to Russia. But remember, there was
I feel
hold
like
on
we
a
need a
second.
good
Thank you,
rivalry,
Mr.
though.
Mueller. Thank you, Mr. Mueller.
We haven't heard yet. Oh, and by the way, it is pretty interesting to see everything get dropped with collusion all of a sudden. And it was. I'm going to compare it to this. I'm going to go back to, let's see, remember George Bush, the boy Bush, was president of the United States of America. There was
another Bush. That's the only Bush I know.
There was a son, the younger one. Okay, it was for 4 years. For 4 years, there was investigations by the media, by the government, by everybody, reports on Bush leaked the name of a CIA agent to the media. Remember that? There was Valerie Plame and Joe Wilson leaked the name. And for 4 years, the White House was under siege, and really, and they were under siege by the media and by investigators over they leaked the name of a CIA agent.
Right.
Now, when the investigation began, they knew that it was somebody from the State Department, a guy named Richard Armitage. They didn't release that. They kept on with the investigation, kept going, and all the negative publicity, and it paralyzed a large part of the Bush administration.
It did.
And then, after 4 years, they came out with, nothing to see here. Well, but we got nothing. And so, okay, nothing to see. It was about a day's worth of stories. I called it Flame Out at the time. It was Valerie Flame. But anyway, it was a flame out, and it became about a day's worth of stories. We're going to see that same thing with the Mueller investigation. It's going to be a day's worth of stories. Okay, nothing to see. Okay, yeah.
You're right.
I feel like that's what's going on now because nothing.
Yes.
It's been that way from the beginning, right? There's just investigating. They're just looking under rocks and desks. Like I feel like they just go into stuff and like. Anybody see anything? They barely lift up anything. Oh, no, we found something.
We think. We maybe investigate 2 more years.
Yeah.
Okay, well, nothing to see here. Everybody go home.
Yeah, $25 million down the toilet.
Yeah.
Well, and yes, the money is part of the issue, but it's still, and as a media person, I'm sitting there going, at what point does a media get some integrity and sit here and think for themselves and go, wait a second, first of all, if there was anything there, it would have been leaked.
Of course. Yeah. Of course.
If there were anything there, it would have been leaked. And now you can see Democrats now are positioning themselves for the Mueller report that will say no Russian collusion and that they will then have to go with plan B, C, D, E, F, G. No question about it. They have all those plans in place.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay.
They're nothing if not planners. I mean, right?
But why were we doing for the last 2 years? What have we been talking about the last 2 years with all this stuff? Okay, that being said, we've got, I do want to talk more about this college scandal. I know I'm jumping off into something else here. And this college scandal to be able to get people, this is rich people. They say there are about 50 of them right now, but it's going to expand into more. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. That's what Alan Dershowitz says, so I'm sort of going with what he says. But there was a guy, who was the fixer dude name here? Okay, wrote it down here. William Rick Singer. A guy named, I never heard of him before. Nobody had. William Rick Singer.
So he was good at his job up until this point.
Up until this point. He was the guy that was, now help me out here, get this correct, allegedly, everything's alleged, that he was going to college, to colleges, to coaches, to administrators, to officials, bribing them, paying them, coming up with false documents to get rich kids who weren't qualified to go to Brown, Columbia, Harvard, Penn, go through all the Ivy League schools. Oh, USC was in there too.
Right.
And to bribe them to get them into school when they otherwise couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
My parents, I wish they would have tried something like that. But my parents knew I was too dumb to do the schoolwork. Number one, I was not disciplined enough to do that. They said, no, you go to a JUCO and see if you can get straighten out there. And then I said, no, then I want to go into media. And they said, okay, that's right about your level. That's right down. Slump yourself into media and see how that works. And then they were happy.
You know, Ron, there's a lot of media pundits or talk show hosts that have a very definite opinion about college, and most of it is the overwhelming majority of opinion is from these people that college isn't that important today. You could still make a lot of money. You could have a great position, just not that important.
Susie,
I think that's more of a West Coast. We think that because the city that we're in, we can make money not having a degree. But if you go East Coast, you see where it's really hard to get into schools, and you don't make a six-figure job unless you have a degree.
It helps.
Yeah.
Big time. Yeah.
I think, out here, there's more opportunity.
You can still make a crap load of money. You know, sell insurance if you have to.
Yeah,
I mean, Jesus,
exactly.
you know.
Second career choice.
Valet park.
When the cocktails get too heavy, sell insurance.
You sell insurance. Blackjack, cocktail waitress. There's, I've heard of even some women that, Dennis, I don't know if you're familiar with this, that will work at a strip club for a while and make a vast. Now, I'm not recommending any of these things for people to do, but that's sort of things that happen here in this city. Or they go into media, which is another way to do it and make a couple of bucks on the side. But you're right, Susie. No, you nailed it. It is a East Coast West Coast thing.
Yeah.
And that we in the West Coast, we have a little bit of a rebel spirit, a wild card, and we just go and make things happen. We'll figure things out. East Coast, oh no, I need to do what my dad did, what his dad did, what his dad did.
There's all these traditions,
they went to Brown, and they were an
more
attorney.
Traditional, right?
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Right.
Yeah.
Where are you from originally, Susie?
Wyoming.
Why?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Dennis, you hold on. That visceral reaction.
Hey, I'm from like the Beverly Hills of Wyoming. I'm from like Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
I told you.
Don't watch that documentary on.
Oh, Jackson Hole's fantastic. But Ron, I told you to strewn the hallway with road apples. You know, when she was coming in, make her feel right at home.
Yeah,
Come on.
no.
I love Jackson Hole. That's
it's a
fun
great
place.
place.
Awesome.
I left when I was 5, so I've pretty much been in Vegas my whole life.
But you've been back a few times.
Yeah, I mean, I got to go back for fair, the
when
1 week that they have, like, everybody in town.
I love they have, I know in the park in the middle of town, they have that little antler thing that's the gateway that's going to the park.
It's so nice because you're related to everybody.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go back there and still know people? They'll know you?
Unfortunately.
What the heck happened to Susie?
I think they got
her?
maybe 2 million now in the whole state?
I don't even. Well, the town that I'm from is like 1,000 people.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I just got. I got spies all over. You know that, Ron. Just got an update. Can you believe this? St. Mary's hanging with the Zags. In fact, it's 15-13. They're beating them with 10 minutes to go.
Wow.
This is March Madness. That's
it is
great.
It is March Madness. We're going to talk some college hoops and all sorts of stuff. Take your phone calls. Our phone number is 702-257-5396. With Dennis Silvers, with Susie Draney, I'm Ron Futrell. This is the Vegas Take. Brian Shapiro and JD are locked up somewhere. We put them together in the same little closet. Now that's scary. Back in a bit.